Hello and welcome back to another video. Sorry. Right now I'm going to be ranking all of the towers, on my personal opinion, on what the best and worst towers are in the game. There are a few that I haven't ever seen in game, so I might be wrong in a few of these, but this is again just my personal opinion. So if I'm wrong, then you can go ahead and put that in the comments and I'll look at it. But let's go ahead and start. So the first one is Pursuit. It has really good DPS and also it has really good DPS and it also has fly detection, which is good for Pizza Party, which makes it even better. So I'm gonna have to put that in excellent. I don't want to go superb because I don't really think it's that high. I mean, I get that the DPS is really high, but other than that, I don't really see it as like something that everybody should have in their loadout. Mortar is next. It's good for similar reasons. It's either it's one of these two actually. It is very good damage, but I'm gonna have to put it here because you can only place 4 with the new update. So that's definitely kills it a little bit, because I mean if you were able to place 6 like beforehand, then it would be much better. But yeah, the next one is Turret. I'm gonna have to put it in good because it costs so much and it's outshined by Accelerator and Engineer and things like that. I'm not sure about Engineer. Actually no, Engineer is better than Accelerator, at least to my knowledge. It just costs a lot. It's used in hardcore strategies, but other than that, I can't really see a really effective use for it if you have things like Accelerator or Engineer. So yeah, Commando. I haven't seen it really ever that much, but what I have seen, I think it's here. I could be totally wrong because I haven't really seen it that much, but I'm going to have to put it there because... Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and... No, I'm not going to do... I was going to make a new one just for these guys, but... Oh wait, no, it's actually already here for that I haven't seen before, but... I've seen it slightly. Okay, no, I'm going to put other things there that I've never seen in the game. I've just seen this slightly. Cowboy, I'm going to put indecent just because of the fact that it got nerfed really heavily recently. Yeah, it got really heavily nerfed, so it does less damage and earns less money, so I'm gonna have to put it there. Accelerator, I'm just gonna have to put it here because I mean everybody who has Accelerator uses it, so I get that it's not the highest DPS in the game, but it's definitely one of the highest, and just everybody uses it. So I guess I mean that's just a spot that it has to be in. Ranger, I'm gonna have to put in amazing because it costs a lot and it's really good against flying things, and also does really high damage. Was 400 or something like that, but just you don't really see many people using it. I think it's a little bit underrated, but I don't have a reason to use it right now. It's good against flying, but other than that, there's other things that you can use. Gladiator. Okay, Gladiator is definitely my favorite unit in the game, just purely because of the fact that it's a very good early game, as well as it's really decent late game. It's not as effective against bosses as things like, Sledger and Warden, but against early game, it's very, very good, and definitely the best unit to start off with. You could argue that Golden Scout's better, but personally, I gotta put Gladiator here, purely for the fact that I'm actually gonna put these in order. It's probably gonna be this and that, in my opinion. It's gonna be like that. I'm put them in order in this. Crook Boss, I'm gonna have to put in decent. It's good whenever you first get it, counting that there you don't have things like, Accelerator and Engineer and stuff like that, but other than that, I can't really see a, unless you have the golden version, but normal Crook Boss just isn't really as good. Toxic Gunner, it slows down units. So it makes it a good compatibility with Gladiator. So that makes Toxic Gunner definitely good, but I think it kind of, because it's so old without much changes, I'm going to have to put it here. Its damage, actually, should I do, no, definitely not. Its damage, I don't know its damage, but I know it isn't superb, like things like, Ranger's 400 damage, or even Accelerator's 35, like, over, like, a really short amount of time. Archer. So, okay. Archer got buffed very heavily with the most recent coming out, but because it was practically like here beforehand, there was no buff that would be able to, unless they completely changed the unit to make it the best in the game. So I'm gonna have to put it here. I'm gonna put it here. It's a good starting unit, but actually, okay. It's a good starting unit. It's a very good starting unit, but other than that, there's just really no use for it. So actually, I can't decide where to place it because I'm gonna place it here because it's good starting off, like very good until like wave even wave 20. It can last till wave 20 very well, but other than that, there's practically delete them. What is this? Well, military base is right here. I can't tell if this is like the tank or war machine. Let me go ahead and check real quick, actually. Hang on. War machine. TDS. No, wait, not war machine. I mean mecha base. Okay, yeah, that's mecha base. Mecha base is a dev thing, so I'm automatically gonna have to place it there. I'm not sure how good it is, but I know it's like absolutely broken. Like the last level is like level 5 or 5,000 health or something like that, which can one-shot multiple like slow bosses, which is very good. At least it's somewhere in that range. If I'm totally wrong, please tell me, but that is what I think it is. But I think it's because they haven't had a chance to balance it yet, because it hasn't been released to everybody. It's just absolutely broken right now. So I'm actually gonna have to, yeah. Sledger, I'm gonna have to place here because of the Sledger on his own is very good because he has the freeze ability, and if you max him out, his freeze lasts very long. So pretty much any boss can't make it anywhere, especially whenever you pair it with Gladiator doing, the 45 damage per hit while they're frozen makes them a really good combo. Definitely my favorite combo. And purely knowing that, I just have to put it in excellent. I really want it whenever it comes out next, if it comes out. Slasher. I'm gonna have to put here. I don't think it's good in the slightest. It's like a knockoff Gladiator. It's trying to be a good starting tower, but it just, you need to pretty much get to like level 3 or max even to be able to handle the first few waves. It's pretty much Archer. It's pretty much what Archer used to be. Just absolutely horrible for everything. Swarmer, I have no idea. I haven't ever seen the stats of Swarmer, and I've only seen it like once or twice in a YouTube video. I've never seen anyone use Swarmer, in my opinion. Or not. Engineer Turret. I'm gonna have to put, it's the main DPS of Turret, so I'm gonna have to put it here. Or not Turret, it's the main DPS of Engineer. So I'm gonna have to definitely place it. Actually, no, I'm gonna place it here. No, here. Because, I mean, it's pretty much what makes Engineer. Executioner, I'm gonna have to put in, it's a good Is it really a starting? It's more of a mid game, but unless you have tons of them, they don't really. They're crowd control. They're a good crowd control. So it's similar problem that Gladiator has, where it's a good crowd control, but whenever it goes up against a boss, it really can't do much. So I'm gonna have to place it there. Freeze Blaster, I'm gonna have to put him here. Same with this guy. I don't even know the name of this one. I've never seen those really in game. Military base, I'm gonna have to put. I'm gonna have to put it there. It's good in it's a good starting whenever no one really places anything ever. But other than that, I don't really see a use for it whenever, like in late game or anything like that. It's not really useful at all. Militant, I'm gonna have to put in. Okay, it's good for things like hardcore and some other, probably Fallen as well. It's a good unit on its own, but I can't say it's, on any of these guys' level. Rocketeer is, I'd say he's decent. I'd say I put him there. He's got really good damage, but that red zone really messes up, especially if you're on a smaller map, which makes him not as good as he could be. Plus he costs quite a bit to level up and isn't really as worth it when counting the price. Is this Shotgunner? Is this Shotgunner? I'm just gonna say this is Shotgunner. If I'm totally wrong, then it's whatever. Shotgunner is a good speedrunning and starting unit, but other than that, I can't see a good use for it, so I'm gonna place it. Place it here. Minigunner. Whenever you first get Minigunner, it's amazing until you get, you use that throughout most of the game. It's probably one of the most popular ones until you get Accelerator and swap him out. So I have to say for me, I'd say he's definitely good. He's like a high good. Electroshocker. He's amazing in things like Pizza Party against flying units, and even like briefs. Kind of stunning is what he does. He's a good damage, but I can't say he's overpowered, but he's definitely I'd say he's there with the recent buff he has. Medic. Oh, I'd say he's right about here. Not for the fact that he, or she even, sorry. Not for the fact that she's good at damage. The damage isn't what she's used for. It's the, she's a good healer. Like, what she does is, she heals a little bit of the base after a while, as well as, like, whenever she's max level, she has an ability where if you press it, it will if a boss stuns your people, it will unstun them whenever you press the ability. It has like a 30-second cooldown or something like that, which makes it almost, actually no, it is a necessity to beat hardcore, and is really needed in Fallen, but it's not like super needed. Like, it isn't impossible to beat Fallen without Medic, but it is impossible to beat hardcore without Medic, which was why I'd put it there. DJ. It's gonna go in the superb area. I'm gonna place it here because it's pretty much, actually no, I'm gonna place it here because of, DJ at level, I think it's 3 or 4. I think it's 3. No, it's 3. Will raise the range of your units by, I think, 15%, and also discount every upgrade by 10%. And then maxed out, I don't remember the range for maxed out, but it's 20% off on upgrading. So if you have things like Engineer or Accelerator, it is so much easier and probably a necessity to use those to upgrade. Like, that's pretty much needed. Commander, I'm going to place here. I wouldn't say it's I'm placing here, actually. What that does is, if you press the ability for him whenever he's maxed out, it will raise the fire rate for all your people by like 30 or 50%, which, if you have things, Engineer doesn't need it, but Accelerator and pretty much anything is like, it makes things so much easier, and is also needed in things like hardcore, and it's both medic and commander are needed in hardcore, or else you pretty much, I don't think you will win at all. And any strat, you'll see one of the people has commander. Commander is one of the most important people in the game, but the reason I'm not ranking it higher is because it isn't as needed as DJ is, in my opinion. Pyromancer, I'm gonna put him in the mediocre slot because he's good against, like, so he was a really good, or a pretty good starting unit, right? Like, he was pretty good, he was really useful as well, like decent damage, all that stuff. But they completely killed his chances of being a starting unit with the most recent nerf to him, to making it from, like, placing it went from like 900 to 1,200 and raised the price of every upgrade by like hundreds. So it made him more of a mid-game tower, but he isn't as good as mid-game, which makes him much worse now. Ace Pilot, I'm going to put in the decent spot right here. It's good in things like hardcore, and that's pretty much it, actually, other than you just starting out. It's more like if you're just starting in the game, buy it because it's good. Farm. Ultimate #1 spot. You need this to play the game. You cannot play the game without it. Like, I mean, you need it. Hunter. Hunter is much better now with the most recent update, but you can't really use it in any situation right now, so I'm going to put it in the bad spot. Although I think it would go here. Normal Soldier. I'm also... Actually, no. I'm going to put him in the... here. Because he's... No, I'm going to place him here. He's got good damage, especially whenever you're just starting out, but is nothing compared to pretty much any other unit on this list. Like, pretty much any other good unit on the list, I should say. Like, if Soldier and even Militant. Militant's just a better Soldier, in my opinion. At least normal Soldier. Because Soldier is like a burst fire rate, while Militant's just a straight up AK. Freezer is garbage. You don't need to use it. Yeah. Scout, I say, is definitely bad, but it's the one you start off with whenever you very first start the game, so it's obviously not going to rank very high on the list, but it's definitely better than, things like Paintballer. Alright, what is Sniper? It looks like, yeah, Sniper. I'm going to have to put Sniper pretty much where Hunter is. They're pretty much just the same thing, except this one fires faster and I think does more damage, which is why this one's on a lower area. I'm actually going to put this here. Demo Man. I'm going to put him here. No, I'm going to put him here because he's decent with the, explosion and group damage, but isn't really useful for late game. And costs quite a bit for being, a unit for... People get this unit before they get farm. So accounting for how much it costs makes things really hard to max it out. Paintballer, here. Yeah. I'm putting this on the lowest on the list as much as I can, at least. Yeah. This, never seen it before. This, so I'm not sure if this is just a John Roblox skin. I'm not sure if that's it. So I'm going to place it here just because I don't really know. I'm going to place this here because it does incredible damage and it's another developer unit. So it's definitely going to go there because it's hasn't been released yet and it hasn't been worked on to be, you know, balanced, which means it's obviously overpowered. Railgunner, I think is the name. No, Ranger. 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 Wait a minute. Hang on. I'm pretty sure there's like the new and the old like soldier and stuff like that. Where did I put soldier? I'm not gonna actually change these. I'm not gonna use these two. I'm not gonna use actually any of these because these are like the old versions. I'm pretty sure this is just another slasher. So I'm not going to use that. Actually, I'm not going to use any of these because these are all just new versions, I think. So all of the things that I mentioned in the video are just the current version. So the soldier looks old, but it's the new one. Like, I'll go ahead and actually fix this. Nope, putting this back. You get the idea. Sniper. Here's where did I put old sniper? Yeah, pretty much these are just the old units. Don't need to know because they're not as good and I wasn't there for them. Now the Goldens. Oh wait, no, I'm going to do engineer first actually. Engineer. I'm going to place it just right here because it's very high DPS. It did get nerfed recently, so now it can only spawn one less turret, but what it does is spawns, you know, little sentries. And that's the main DPS of Engineer, and maxed out it can spawn 3 doing 12 damage, which makes it very good DPS, but you can only spawn 6 and it costs a lot, so I'd say, yeah, I think it's pretty good. Now the Goldens. Minigunner. Minigunner I'm going to put in, I'm pretty sure most of them are going to go in Amaze, actually no. I'm just going to put this one above golden or normal minigunner because it's good DPS but costs a lot and isn't enough. It isn't even on accelerator level, which is accelerator is arguably easier to get in my opinion. I got accelerator first. Golden Crook Boss. I didn't really ever use. I don't have a Golden Crook Boss, so I haven't really seen it. But people say it's good, so I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it here. Yeah. I'm gonna put it there because it spawns golden. It's pretty much just Crook Boss, but golden and buffed. Golden Scout. I'm gonna have to put here because of the. It's an amazing starting unit, but it isn't as good as Gladiator for starting off. Because Gladiator is good throughout pretty much the entire game, while Scout you might as well sell it before wave 20. Because yeah. All it does is really take up spot other than that. But it's still really good. And it's definitely the one I want most. Golden Soldier. I'm actually going to put here. Because it's good for all of the game modes. And all of the... It's like mid-game. It's good in mid-game and late game. But it's also really good in early game as well. So... Yeah. I'm gonna put that there. I could be totally, like, that could be totally off from what it really is, but in my opinion, actually, no, I'm gonna swap these two. Golden Cowboy, I'm gonna have to put in, I'm gonna have to put here, no, I'm gonna have to put here because of the nerf it got. If it didn't get nerfed, it would probably be, you know, right here or even right here, but because of the nerf it got, it isn't really as good anymore in my opinion. Now the last one, Golden Pyro. Normal Pyro got nerfed, which also means Golden Pyro got nerfed, but it's still really good for game modes, any game mode pretty much, for both starting, actually no, pretty much just starting. It's good against bosses. I wouldn't say it's as good as these two by far, or I'm gonna put it here. In my opinion, I think it would go there. And then these guys I'm just gonna place over here because these are really old units that I wasn't here for. So, old arch. Alright. And this is my personal tower defense thing. This is what is it? Okay, so this is probably not accurate. It's probably not what either people said, but things like Rocketeer and, Demo Man, I haven't used in years. And things like Sledger and Executioner, I never used. I've only had to learn it from people who have used it. And I think I know someone with Sledger, but I don't know anyone with Executioner. Like, I only have Archer, Gladiator, and Elf Camp wasn't actually on here. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty old list. So I'm gonna put Elf Camp. Can I, like, add another one? So, I'm gonna put Elf Camp right... Probably right... I'm gonna put Elf Camp right here, actually. So, just... Actually, pretend this guy is Elf Camp. This is Elf Camp. It's not Elf Camp, but pretend he's an elf. This is my personal tower defense ranking. That was the word I was looking for. If any of this isn't even anywhere close to right, like all of a sudden freaking Commander is the top one, I do feel bad that I put Commander at the bottom on here. It's probably ranked higher, but it just isn't as needed, especially for things like Engineer, which is the main DPS that I use. So I don't really have to bring it like I do DJ. But if... Also, this one I vaguely heard of. I know what these two are. This is probably just a skin, and these are like the old versions of the units. Who is this? If anyone can tell me in the comments. But yeah, this is my personal tower defense ranking. And like I said, if it's anywhere close to wrong, then, go ahead and tell me if you want. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you for the next one. Goodbye.